No,
Are we
we should
live?
be live.
We should
No,
be.
we're
I
not.
hope we are.
Oh,
I
there
hope
we
we
go.
are live.
For
So that way
for some
people.
reason, it didn't go live. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got to start over again.
Yeah, we got to start over. Let's go.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right,
Well, good because
so-
my alarm just went off too. So.
Everybody, welcome to Dessert Men Live. This morning has been a complete fucking fuck up because I've had one hell of a morning. I've been up since 6 a.m. Putting shows together. So for those of you who don't know me, or I don't know why the hell you're here if you don't know me, but I'm Dwain Burke. My co-host for this lovely show is the one and only my brother in the now, Aiden Kossick.
Yeah,
And
brother in the now.
we are joined by the director. What other titles do you got for before I leave? Like your director,
Producer.
financier,
Oh,
producer.
shut your ass up.
What
bro.
else? What else you
Daddy.
got? Sugar daddy.
Shut
Raul
your ass up.
Mendoza.
No, that's Tamor. That's Tamor, bro.
Oh yeah, Tamor got them rags. Tamor pull up on you like he young thug. He's like, "What you want? Some VVS's in your chain? I got you, bro."
No, bro.
Drop some stacks in here, yo.
Writer, producer, director, and the what's
Sexy.
it called? What's it called? The cameo.
The sex appeal.
No,
Yeah.
not the sex appeal. Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and invade the space of the LGBTQ community in that film and just put myself in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So just pull your dick out and swing around like a helicopter, and we can all be like, "It's a director cameo."
Hey,
And it'll be amazing.
sometimes you need it. For everyone who doesn't know, this show is going to be the show where we talk about all the ridiculous bullshit that happened in the week with no hold bars. Nothing is going to hold us back. Just real raw talk from anybody and everybody that is on the panel. If you are watching with kids, please get your kids the fuck up out of here.
Or if you
because
don't
this
roll like
is not
that,
for
turn the
him,
volume
or for
up,
them.
tell the kids to donate, let them do their own thing, you know what I mean? I don't know how you raise your kids, so live your life. I don't know.
I'm already just gonna go ahead and get this out the way right now. From Geo, I got a sweet tooth
You got a
in
sweet tooth.
the stream elements.
I got a sweet tooth.
I got a sweet
So-
tooth.
Geo is our first tipper for the show.
Hey man.
First tip forever. Damn, Gio.
Geo, the man,
Geo with
Media
just
Martyr
the tip.
17. Thank you so much for that, dude. I mean, and speaking of Geo, we have to bring this up on the first episode. Geo is the man who created the title Dessert Men.
Yes,
That
sir.
is-
Way before we
100%.
were like, let's do a show, spitballing around on your Twitch streams, you know what I mean? Geo's the one who created Dessert Men, brought me into it once we all became friends, brought Dwayne into it, brought some
Kevin
more people
after.
into it. Yeah, brought Kevin into it.
And Geo will
Louise.
be on the show. We'll get
Geo
Geo on
will
the show.
be on the show. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Alright.
I want to bring Geo on the show one day and just talk about like role playing RPG games for like an hour, like 2 hours. I mean, I don't even know how long this show is gonna be.
Yo,
I don't know.
I'm down.
We just do it. I would love that.
100% down to just talk RPG games like for a whole show. Fuck it, a whole show.
A whole show.
By the
All
way, just quick question: is the stream supposed to be unlisted?
No, it's not.
No, it ain't.
It's unlisted.
It is
this-
it is unlisted, but the good thing is I tweeted out the link, so
So they
Yeah.
can find it.
People
and
can
it can
find
be
it.
public later. And it'll be amazing. And they'll be like,
well,
what the fuck am I
fix
watching?
that. I can fix that right now.
yeah. Yeah.
Listen, all that we need is for people to click on the link, see
Yeah.
these 3 dessert men, and be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm there for
It's
that."
not
I
supposed
wanna
to be
see that.
unlisted, but I'm gonna just let everybody know for anyone who has never set up a live stream, when you're fucking around with the settings, you don't want people to be able to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then right after, you want them to start seeing what's it
Yeah.
called, the
And
stream.
I just forgot to make it public after I was done fucking around with it.
Yeah,
yeah.
it
See,
happens.
I did the same thing on my old YouTube channel that everything is about to be unlisted on because I want to release that as like separate content one day, but that's another story. I tried to start my own news show and I went for like 3 hours completely unlisted. And I was like, why is nobody watching this? Like, I was like, I've got subscribers. Why the fuck is no
Right.
one watching this? And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why. Amazing.
Throwback to
Alright.
the first couple of Nerdcore live show episodes when we used to actually stream it on YouTube with like dropping frames and everything. That used to happen all the time. Like, hey, yo, why is the show unlisted? Why is
Yeah.
nobody in here? We would find out like right after we're done with the show.
Yeah, right. All right, so Aiden, you've got the topics for
I
us.
do.
Go ahead
I
and
got
hit
the
us with that
topics.
first one.
First one, brand new, hot off the press. Quibi has been acquired by Roku. So I don't know what you guys think about this. I'm kind of in the department of like, I ain't got Roku, I ain't got Quibi. So I don't know how y'all feel about that. They tweeted it out, right? Like a 13-year-old girl announcing her breakup on Twitter. So I'm not 100% sure what that's all about. I wasn't sure if this was official or not until you told me about it. So Raul, Dwayne, y'all want to kick it off? First episode of Dessert Men Live, first topic.
Yeah, I mean, we heard about this. I think it was on like Monday or Tuesday that like Quibi could be possibly be getting acquired by Roku to bring them like
Yeah.
a new Roku channel or Roku app. I don't really know what their plan moving forward is. But I think that honestly, the only reason they announced it is because that report came out
Yeah.
earlier this week. And if it hadn't, we probably would not be hearing about this at all. And they probably would have just taken that content and just rolled it out on Roku and like got rid of the Quibi name, like not even
Yeah.
kept the Quibi name.
The
I
Quibi
don't-
name, in my opinion, is just like is tarnished at this point.
Yeah.
So like just off that, to be honest.
And I
So
don't
just-
even give a fuck about the app. I just
Yeah.
like the only reason I care is because I have a lot of friends that did shows for Quibi that never got released. So now at least their stuff is gonna get released. So I mean that's a plus. But far and away, I don't give a fuck about Quibi.
Yeah, at all. I don't have it.
Quibi?
Like I had to make sure that like this was a real thing at first. I was like, wait, what? Wait,
Yeah.
which one is Quibi again? Is that the one that was like 10-second long episodes of Chrissy Teigen doing Judge Judy? Like, what the
Oh
fuck is
my
this thing?
God.
It's
Wasn't
like,
that a fucking thing?
it's like Vine for YouTube.
yeah,
Like,
it's
that's
Vine
like-
for YouTube.
And it's like, no, it's fuck this.
Wait,
Like,
was that real? Because like, no, what's it called? No disrespect to Chrissy Teigen, but
No.
Judge Judy is one of the baddest bitches ever, bro. You know damn well. That's a bad bitch in the whole name, bro.
a bad bitch
oh
and a
man,
half.
in our first thirst of the day. There
First
we go.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Judge Judy.
Shit,
Do we need like a Judge Judy like simp alert so that way like just post pictures of like what is it, Rule 34, Judge Judy?
Oh God, no.
Man, I like to see what that hammer do to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I like
bro.
to see that.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on, bro. If you're telling me you
Nah,
wouldn't,
bro.
what's it called? Judge Judy, she got the attitude and she's cool,
Man,
man.
Raul
Come
just
on.
wants to get beat by the gavel.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
I mean, I'll say this about this Quibi thing. Quibi costs $1.75 billion, and Roku acquired it for less than 100 mil.
Yeah.
So if there's such a thing as disappointment, it is Quibi.
They
I'll put this out there. I'm a 20-year-old man. I'm on Twitter all the time. I'm on Instagram all the time. I've only heard of this thing through like brief mentions here and there. Nobody talks about this. Like
I've
everyone
never
knows.
actually watched anything on Quibi.
I don't know anything about Quibi. So like hopefully Roku, whoever owns Roku, has an idea for something that they can do with this to kind of like turn it into like some form of like a new Vine or like another TikTok. I don't know. And like that's kind of the only way that I view it. I don't know what they want to do with it. I mean, good for them, I guess. That's a big steal, man. Like $1.75 billion property for being acquired for less than $100 million. Like
Yeah,
that's insane to me.
They went to the auction and got a mansion
Yeah.
like at foreclosure. Like that was like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
That goes to show
I
you,
haven't done the math, but that's like what, like a tenth of what it was.
Yeah, I'm not
worth
good at math, bro.
originally? Like,
That's why I'm
that's
talking on
crazy.
podcasts. That's why I cook. I ain't good at math.
Don't even ask me about that either. That's why I make movies.
I mean,
Yes, sir.
like Kevin's saying, like, yeah, the big problem with Quibi and what really fucked it over was the way that they advertised it. Was like,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, everything's under 10 minutes. And it's like, nobody cares that everything's under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, just
That's what I got
advertise
fucking
that you
YouTube
got
for.
like, well, I mean, the reason they advertise it that way is because like the average YouTube watch time is like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
if invest in good quality like product and then advertise it as good quality product, but limit how long the episodes are based on that watch time. Like you've got a gimmick, but don't like advertise the gimmick.
Yeah, because like the marketing was the worst part about Quibi. Like it's the only part of Quibi that I've seen. It was always like whoever the celebrity or the actor is like in the show, it was like them doing like at the gym or like getting a cup of coffee, like watching their own show, and it like created this sort of confusion where it's like, what is this product? Like they never actually advertised any of the things that were on the show. It was just like you were so like it was, you know, it's a wrestler who has a really good gimmick but can't work in the ring. Like I had no idea. Like there's so much confusion about what I'm looking at. You know what I mean?
Man, you're talking about Goldberg in the 90s?
I'm talking about Goldberg right now. Like what the I'm talking about Goldberg right now, bro. Like what the fuck is this? Hey man, side note, what is going on with this?
Yeah,
Drew McIntyre and Goldberg. Come on, dog.
Hey, look. So the rumor I heard is Drew is gonna retain. So I mean, if that happens, I'm cool with it. Like that's all right.
If that happens,
but like do not make Drew do the job.
Yeah.
Do not make him do the job.
Because the Randy Orton thing at Hell in a Cell was already enough to be like, why did we even have to do that? Like he had like what 3 matches with Randy, like after months and months of that feud for Randy to beat him, only for him to win it back at like a couple nights later. That was kind of dumb to me, anyways. Like I know that they were trying to like set up like the Fiend angle. You know, speaking of the Fiend, I got my boy right here. Love to see it.
Yeah. That stuff was the stuff with the Fiend. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, really dumb. But it's just like, at what point are we like hurting Drew with this? You know what I mean? Because
they've been hurting Drew since he got there.
Yeah, and I think Drew can really work. Like I think he's really good, but I don't know, man. I don't know how Vince views Drew. I don't know if they think that like he's been, you know, drained dry at this point, and if they feel like they need Goldberg or not. But to me, it just feels more like
views him as a member of 3MB. Like that's honestly like what he sees probably.
Yeah, I just think the only reason why they're doing this is because they were like, well, AEW can bring Sting back. We'll bring Goldberg back. And it's like, yeah, but you brought Goldberg back like 4 times already. We don't care.
We don't care about Goldberg. And it's
and as far as I know, they're not bringing Sting back. They just have him like,
he's just there. Show. He's just kind of there with Darby to get Darby over. And like, I've actually really been enjoying what they've been doing with Sting because it's not quite like WCW, like the Crow, like when Sting was in his prime and like he didn't talk or anything like that. I mean, he's on the mic, and Sting has never really been good on the mic to me. He's always kind of come across like really corny. But you know, I'm actually really enjoying what they've been doing with Sting over in AEW. So I mean, we'll see what they do with that. Fuck Goldberg. I'm just not. The thing is, I'm just not looking forward to the match.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Is I just don't care.
Yeah. It's just like the Drew and Brock match at Mania. Like, yeah, it had a great outcome. What's it called? The outcome was great, but the match itself was like, it's you already know what it's how it's gonna go down. The ring is bell. The bell is rung. What's it called? Goldberg spears. What's it called? Drew goes for goes for the pin. What's it called? Drew kicks out at 1. What's it called? And then Drew hits a Claymore. And what's it called? Tries to hit another one, but gets put into a jackknife.
If I was going to book it, here's how I book it. Bell rings. Goldberg goes for the spear, catches a Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew retains.
Yeah. Damn.
Like that's honestly like no bullshit. That's how I would book it.
Yeah.
Like 100%. That's
to
how
put him over, man. Put him over.
Just like what they did with Goldberg and Brock when they just had Brock fucking spear his ass, or not Brock, just had Goldberg spear his ass. 1, 2, 3 done. Like you do the exact same thing back to Goldberg.
Mm-hmm. Yo, Brandon in the chat.
Hey, Brandon, are you supposed to be working?
Yeah, bro. What you doing right now, dog?
You're supposed to be working, Brandon.
He's just got his phone off to the side. Like,
but
he's like,
all right. We're gonna roll into the next planned topic, which I think is a hot topic this week, and
oh yeah,
it's Michael Keaton is supposedly going to be the DCEU Batman going forward?
Yeah.
Question mark. Raul, you made a face.
Yeah, someone who really cares about this topic, Raul Alejandro Mendoza, ladies and gentlemen.
So what do you got to say about that, my friend?
Hold on, where's my cigarettes? Yeah, hold on. I gotta get really serious for this.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I see you, brother.
Yeah. I don't care. Ben Affleck is gone. He's been gone. Anybody who was holding on to any type of hope that he was going to come back, obviously you live under a rock and you don't know how these things work. That man is not coming back. That role is
But
too
Raul,
detrimental.
he's doing reshoots for the Snyder Cut, the original Vision.
Yeah, they can reshoot my ass into it, but my ass ain't going to show up. What's it called? My ass ain't going to be the freaking Batman of the West. Look, what I'm trying to tell everybody is that if you pay attention to why Ben left, you understand that this role is too detrimental to his mental health. You know, anybody who hopes that he continues, you are basically supporting the idea of this man possibly relapsing again.
Yeah. And
I don't like that. But also, Jesus Christ, who the hell cares who's Batman at this point?
Yeah.
Bring back Michael Keaton. Hell, you can have Joel Schumacher. Joel Schumacher's dead, isn't he? Wait, Schumacher's dead.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can have freaking the racist
No. Rest in peace, Joel Schumacher. Schumacher.
You can get the racist piece of crap Tim Burton to direct the next film. God, you can get Danny DeVito to be Batman from Earth 259 or something. And it doesn't matter. You know, the attention is on Pattinson.
Danny DeVito Batman going up against Michael Keaton's Penguin from an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Yo, I would actually love to see that.
I would too. I'm actually like, now that I'm bringing it up, I'm like, that might actually be really cool.
That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather see Brandon as Batman for sure. You know,
I think Brandon would make a great Batman.
Yeah.
Imagine a Latino Batman.
He already was Batman, man. Don't y'all keep up?
Yeah.
Halloween. My man was looking good with that eyeshadow on.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And Gio, I mean, I think technically there is still a DCEU, I think, with Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman. How that's gonna go forward post Flash, like who fucking knows? But I mean, technically it still exists for now.
No.
Hell,
See,
I'm sorry, Aiden. If you want to talk about some bullshit, I know we give Disney the shit for not speaking up about Carano. When is WB gonna start speaking up about Ezra Miller? They freaking assaulted someone.
Yeah.
And there is no word about this person being let go or being recasted at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll get to that in one of the later stories, Raul.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a very important topic and one of the things we're going to talk about later. And Gio, it's not so much that Tim Burton is like overtly racist, but what was it, like a month ago, 2 months ago, he said he doesn't cast a lot of people of color because they just don't fit in.
He was like, they aren't aesthetically pleasing
or something.
Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, they don't fit his aesthetic, I think is what he said.
Yeah.
So it's not like he came out and was like dropping the hard R. Yeah. But like he was just like, I just don't like the way black people look.
Tim Burton exclusively looks at white people that look like Timothée Chalamet and goes, that is my aesthetic.
Yep.
I can light them perfectly.
Oh yeah, god damn it. Lift up your shirt. If I can't see your rib cage, I don't want to fuck with you, bro. Like, come on, bro. Put some melanin on the screen, dog. Like, what does it take? Have y'all seen that fan art that someone made where it was the corpse bride, but they turned all the characters into black people?
No, I haven't seen that.
No, I didn't see that.
If I had known that we would have gone this direction before the show started, I should have brought that up because that fan art was amazing. Like, honestly, like, black people, people of color in general are so beautiful, and it's really just upsetting to hear people in that, power like Tim Burton has talk about how white people fit his aesthetic, and basically people of color just don't matter in his films.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean? Like
when-
that's insane.
And it's so frustrating when people are like, "Oh, but like people of color have all these opportunities on screen," and it's like, what are you talking about? One of the most prolific directors of the past 20 years just said that
Yeah.
he doesn't find people of color
don't have room.
aesthetically pleasing. He doesn't have room for them on his screens. Like what?
Jesus.
Like
Christ,
it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, it is a joke.
yeah.
But on this Michael Keaton Batman thing, kind of going back to the main topic, the guy who originally like reported this, like he tweeted like a couple hours later, because he put the report out talking about how they're looking to get Michael Keaton to return in more DCEU films in the future. He came back and did a tweet talking about how people really ran off with his headline and how he didn't mean it like that at all, and they took it out of context. So I don't know because I know we saw that the concept art back at DC, what the fuck was that thing called? Like DC Fandom, DC Fandom. When we saw Michael Keaton, the dome. Give me that dome. Give me that dome, DC.
DC fan brain. Go give me that brain.
DC sloppy toppy.
DC Slopper. Oh my God. Ezra Miller and Michael Keaton and DC Fandom head. I'd love to see it.
Oh, good Lord, no.
I hope the whole movie is just Batman and the Flash trying to give each other head the whole movie. Like that's what it's about.
That would be my remake of it, you know?
Oh yeah. But we saw the concept art with Michael Keaton in the suit, so everyone obviously assumes that they might do like some weird de-aging, put him back like how he was in like the 80s and the 90s, or we're gonna see, like the old man Batman, similar to like Batman Beyond. I know that there's a lot of Batman Beyond rumors. I think it'd be interesting to see if they wanted to go down that direction. But what I was saying was, I think we're just gonna see him more in the old man Bruce Wayne, just like Batman Beyond. I think we're gonna have someone else come in. Hopefully we get an Asian American person to play Terry McGinnis, because I think that exploring Batman Beyond, especially with the technology that we have these days to make film, would be really interesting. I don't know if we're going to get anything that really is like a commentary on anything, the way that I feel like Batman Beyond plays a lot around with corporate America and those kind of themes. I think that would be really interesting. I don't know how deep they would get with that, but it'd be a lot of fun to see Michael Keaton come back. I mean, we've got him, in the Morbius movie with Jared Leto. So if we can get Michael Keaton in Morbius, I think we can get Michael Keaton to keep coming back to play Bruce Wayne. And the dude's always talking about how he played Batman. So I don't know. I think the dude's heart is into it. So I think it'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if I want to see Batman walking around with like a walker though, like kicking people's asses. I'm not really into that. Not at all.
Yeah, I think that if we do get Michael Keaton back, we have to go the Batman Beyond. Like at least we have to at least do like maybe we get one film with him kind of focusing as him in the last days of Batman, and then the next one we've got to pivot towards Batman Beyond. And for people who aren't familiar with Batman Beyond, I don't know if an Asian American character will work exactly because of where Batman Beyond ends. But I mean, I definitely think that there's opportunities there for more like
Diversity.
inclusion and diversity, especially when you're talking about when you get into like the splicers and all the like crazy stuff that you get there. Like there's definitely areas to explore there, but just Terry McGinnis as a whole, I don't know how you could. I mean, of course, there's no reason why it can't be like realistically, but just like who that character is, it wouldn't exactly make sense for an Asian American character to play. Or for it
I
to
guess
be
it's
an
just because
Asian
when I was a kid,
American
I always
character.
thought that he was Asian American when I was a kid. Because like me growing up, I grew up watching Justice League Unlimited and Batman the Animated Series and the like CW 33 like Batman show that was really like gothic and like really dope art style, and that's incredible. Please go check that out. And Batman Beyond. Like Batman Beyond is one of the things that really got me into Batman. So I have like a really special place in my heart for Terry McGinnis. So I'm just looking forward to seeing if we ever get to see him in general. But the DCEU as a whole, which I guess is going to be a reoccurring theme on today's episode, is just
It's
a
a fucking
mess.
clusterfuck.
Yeah,
It's
just
a
a fucking
it's a
mess.
fucking mess, dude.
Yeah.
Did
Like,
you guys ever see that concept art for Christopher Nolan Batman Beyond?
no.
But
And I don't know if I'd be
would've-
down for that.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't think I would have liked that.
No, I mean I wouldn't be down for it
Um,
either. But the concept art was really really cool, and
Yeah.
like
And Brandon
the whole
brings up a
look
good
of
point.
Terry
in
was
the-
great.
Brandon brings up a good point in the chat. So maybe a Batgirl Beyond, with the talk of him being a mentor in a Batgirl movie. Like maybe that's where we pivot, and it's Batgirl Beyond.
I think that's
Which
dope.
I
Like
think
if you
that
want
would
to
be
flip it
dope.
on its head.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that would be fucking awesome. Like, and you could still even have the main character, Terry McGinnis. Like,
Yeah.
it's a unisex name. Like, fuck it, why not? Like,
There's nothing in the story overtly that makes Terry have to be a male.
nope.
yeah.
I mean, other than the fact that like people are kind of like, wait, I thought Batman was like, I thought he was supposed to be an old man. How's he back? It doesn't matter. Like you can bring anyone back and put the bat symbol on him, and it has the same effect.
Even then,
Could be
you
anyone.
could take
be anyone.
the Batman Beyond suit, and like it's easy for that to be
Yeah.
a woman in that suit.
Yeah. Especially, have you guys seen? Because I'm kind of picturing it like, have you guys seen the Batman and Batwoman animated movie that takes place within like the continuity of the Batman animated series? I mean, it takes place within the Batman Beyond one as well.
No, I don't think I've
What's
seen
it called?
Oh shit! I
Because
gotta
that,
pull
that
it
would
up.
be because I've seen so many like of all of the DC animated films that
Yeah.
I forget which ones are which all the time.
Well, if for people who are at home watching this, if you can right now look up Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, I think the costume that they have for Batwoman in that movie is amazing, and I think you could really do something fun aesthetically and adapt that costume into live action. I'm not one of these people who's like it's got to be accurate or anything like that, but like if you just want to pull from other source material and kind of play around, I think it would be really fun to see something like that. I know there's been a lot of conversation about like Daisy Ridley coming in and maybe playing Batgirl one of these days. You know, I think that could be fun also. I don't know if Daisy Ridley's really got her heart into it, because by the time Star Wars was done, I had got the impression that she was just like, I'm fucking done with these like tentpole with these franchises. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm so sick of it. So like,
Let her take a break, let her
Yeah.
get her feet wet and go around doing other movies. Let her do fucking Chaos Walking for Christ's sake, what's it called? Let her do it. Well, like take her break and come back to a franchise maybe. I don't really want to see Daisy come back to a franchise anytime soon.
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people that were in this last iteration of Star Wars films are done. Like they're
Oh,
just
yeah.
like fuck this.
More
They
than
got
done.
Oh,
interest
definitely
in-
John Boyega.
Oh yeah.
They got
Yeah.
no interest in being in anything like this or in anything this large simply because of the way it was received.
Yeah.
But
I
guess moving
love
towards Star Wars.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, that's a
guess we
perfect
can
segue, man.
pivot to our next story, which I think is a pretty big one. Michael Waldron has been tapped to write the script for the Kevin Feige Star Wars film. And for anyone who's not familiar with Michael Waldron, he is the writer of Doctor Strange and in the Multiverse of Madness. He is the head writer for Loki. He recently won an Emmy for season 4 of Rick and Morty for the episode that he did for that.
I'm seeing a theme here.
So like he's got some pedigree or some chops or
got
whatever
some chops,
whatever
yeah.
word you want to use.
You got some
to
pedigree, no
describe it,
Triple H.
Like we're familiar with what he can do and know that he can do the damn thing. So, I mean, my biggest thing is like, okay, so the mouse is once again they found somebody they like, and they found somebody that works with them.
Strip them of
they're
their
bringing-
imagination.
They're bringing them in on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it could be fun. I know how Raul feels about this, but I'm a big fan of the MCU. For what the movies are, I enjoy them as a whole. Not specifically because of like how each film is made individually, but the overall characters. I think Kevin Feige really understands the characters, and I think he's done a really good job at finding writers and finding directors that also understand the characters and align with his vision of where he sees the story arcs going, which I think is the biggest accomplishment of not the DCEU, fuck that shit, of the MCU, the MCU. I think that's where Kevin Feige excels, is the character work. So one of my biggest complaints about the last couple Star Wars films that we've gotten from Disney is the character motivations almost seem to change in every single film. So hopefully, with Kevin Feige being on board, if we're starting a new trilogy, or if it's just supposed to be a solo film, which I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be a solo film, Kevin really sees something in Michael Waldron. So hopefully we're going to be getting something creative, some good characters out of this. I don't know if Taika Waititi is supposed to be doing this one or not, because I know there was a rumor that Taika was supposed to be directing a Star Wars film at some point.
I mean, that's not a rumor. It was actually announced.
Oh, it's confirmed. Okay.
It was announced
Okay.
During the Investors Day. They just said like, "Hey, Taika Waititi's working on something for Star Wars."
Okay.
They gave zero other
nothing else
information.
Okay.
They didn't say whether it was on something that's already been announced or if it's...
I just hope this movie is like Star Wars at like a gay nightclub, directed by Taika Waititi. I would fucking love, like, you just see like some like weird aliens coming out with like 3 dicks coming out of their chin, like titties on their ass. Like, I just want to see some fucking wild shit from this movie. Everyone's doing death sticks. The brother from Mortis is there, like getting dome from Michael Keaton's Batman. I'd love to see everything.
Yo, dude, when did you take a look at my scripts?
I mean,
hey, my bad,
here's
bro.
my big thing with this like announcement, and a lot of people have been saying this. They're like, "Hey, Kevin Feige made the MCU work and all these interconnected movies work, so like obviously they want to tap him for Star Wars." And the biggest thing for me that makes it like so different, Star Wars is a completely different beast than the MCU, because the MCU didn't have to worry about, hey, we've got comics tying into our movies, we've got books tying into our movies. I mean, yes, they had TV shows, but even those TV shows did not tie into the movies, really.
Not at
like
all.
They very loosely touched on things, but nothing ever really truly crossed over. Whereas Star Wars is, everything is interconnected. Everything. You're not talking about like, hey, I've got a plan for 26 movies. No, I've got a plan for 10 TV shows, 10 movies, 3 video games, 28 books. Like, no one has tried to achieve what Star Wars is trying to achieve, and everyone who complains about
And
Kathleen
failed
Kennedy,
at, in my opinion.
like, I mean, I don't think Star Wars has failed as much as people say, because of all of the interconnectedness, the only thing that really doesn't truly land is, and I would say it's mixed reception, is 2 of the 3 movies that have been released.
Yeah.
Really. Right?
Well, I'm not talking so much film wise. I'm just talking about like their overall canon for me has kind of missed what I think like the expectations were. And I know it's always bad to kind of have expectations because you leave yourself to be let down. But I feel like there's so much more room for and it kind of sucks to have to limit the directors and limit the writers in these ways. But so like, if they want to pick up the Tarkin novel and find some tidbits in that book and be like, oh, I really want to bring that in, or pick up, what you and I both think is the best canon Star Wars book right now, Lost Stars. And if they want to go in there and they want to write a Sienna movie, like, I think that would be a lot of fun. And it would also give back to the fans who do invest so much time into these things. That's just where I think they've kind of missed it. They do have the chance to pick up that ball in the future, but that's just kind of where
I don't think, I wouldn't say that then the canon has failed. I just think that then they've failed to like capitalize on everything that they brought in with canon. But again,
you're right.
That's part of having all of these different interconnected mediums, is like, I don't know if I necessarily want a Sienna movie. Like, give me more books, because like I don't need every great book to then become a movie. or like
Fair.
great character from a book to become a movie. Because I think that's what makes Star Wars so different, is that you get great characters on screen, then you get great characters in the book, then you get great characters in a comic, and like that's why it's all encompassing, is because you're getting great characters everywhere. It's not like, hey, I'm only gonna get my great characters in the movies.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is kind of what's wrong with like the MCU and even the DCEU, is like the characters on screen are sometimes great, sometimes fine, sometimes suck, but like the comics are great. And even and then some of the comics suck. Like
yes.
You know, so it's like there's no consistency in the quality of what you're getting, and I think overall the quality of the Star Wars canon across all forms of media is pretty damn good. Like especially when you're talking about what they're trying to accomplish, like it's pretty astounding. And even Kevin Feige has not attempted something like that with what he's accomplished in the
not
MCU.
at all. There's like a couple like tie-in MCU comics, but it's literally just like they're like 15 pages, and it's like, hey, did you know Black Widow was at the incident with the Incredible Hulk? Like she was at the college campus. And it's like, yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like at all.
Yeah, they're like super one-off, like not super interconnected. Where it's like when you're looking at all the different ways Star Wars connects, like there's so much. Like when you're talking about like Rey Sloane, and you find out like, oh, Rey Sloane was in Tarkin, and then she was also in 3 of the Aftermath books, and then she's in, you know, Lords of the Sith. It's like she's in all these different things, and you're like, whoa, wait, she was in these books, like, and it's like, oh, damn, that's so dope. Yeah. And it's like, I would love, like, one of the things that I think that they super haven't capitalized on yet, and I mean now I seeing Andor. Right, that's the name of the show, or is it Cassidy?
The new show with Diego Luna.
Andor.
Okay, Andor. So I'm gonna wait to see how that rolls out, but seeing a little bit of like how more adult they went with the Mandalorian, or like visceral they went with the Mandalorian, I want a Twilight Company either like mini series or show. I don't know if you guys have read that book.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of the better I feel Star Wars books.
That's the Battlefront one, the first one that they did, right?
Yeah. Okay. The first one that they did.
Yeah. Before they did the Inferno Squadron.
Yeah. I think Twilight Company is like one of the coolest stories in Star Wars. And I think it's perfect for a show.
Yeah.
Because they're constantly like gaining new people, and like people are constantly dying, because like that's kind of what Twilight Company was used for. And it's like, I think that is such a dope, like,
that's why I think like I'm really getting a lot of my enjoyment out of like the Disney Star Wars through the other materials, you know, not as much the movies, because, you know, again, Lost Stars is amazing, like the way that it ties in to the original trilogy and a little bit after and a little bit before. The way the characters, like, you know, I can now go in and I can watch all through the original trilogy moments, and it's enhanced because of Lost Stars. I'm like, oh shit, like Sienna's right there. Oh, Vader went, you know, little spoiler. Oh, whenever Vader goes away in A New Hope, I know who's going to go pick him up, and I know how much of an impact that it has, and like that adds to the enjoyment of these movies. So, you know, little things like that, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I think a lot of people miss out on by not paying attention to all the different forms of media, is when they're like, oh, I don't want to have to read a book to enjoy this movie. It's like, you don't have to read any of the books to enjoy any of the movies. But when certain little things pop up, like when Cobb Vanth popped up in The Mandalorian, anyone who read Aftermath was like, holy shit. Because it was just this, it's I think maybe 5 pages.
Yeah.
Maybe in Aftermath. He's a character for maybe 5 pages in one book.
But you get a little more out of it just because you read that.
You get so much more when he finally pops up in The Mandalorian. And it's like, yo, this is so dope.
I think that's a dumb excuse too. It's like, you know, I need to read the book to enjoy the movie. I don't think it's supposed to help you enjoy the film. More so like it's nice little cushion, right? No, it's like knowing what else is there, you know. There's more to explore. other than just movies. You can read. Ain't nothing wrong with reading a book.
Yeah, right.
Ain't nothing wrong with reading a book.
Read
Ain't
a
nothing wrong with
damn
reading a
book.
book.
Yeah.
Read that book.
I mean, I really don't care about the Kevin Feige movie, but
I was about to say, what does the number one Kevin Feige fan in the world, Raul Alejandro Mendoza, have to say about this Loki news?
I was looking around this book. I was like, I need to really find the reason I care about this movie. I was like, I can't seem to find it. It's because I mean, it's the film's not European enough for me. It's not from France. It's not French Wave.
I'm telling you, a French Wave Kevin Feige movie set in a gay nightclub in Star Wars. This would be incredible. This would be fucking amazing. Imagine the books that they could make off of this one too.
Greedo and Han giving each other head.
Exactly.
As death sticks are being snorted up their nose.
They're like, you shoot
Greedo's
first.
got
No,
them
you shoot
BFLs.
first. And they're just jerking each other off. They're trying to get each other to come first. But
and then we have like a steady shot of the hand, just the hand.
We're definitely not.
Like this.
It's a good thing we're not monetized because we definitely couldn't monetize this video.
Oh, fuck no, man. Fuck that monetization, bro.
And it's all just,
and so if anybody wants to help us out with that, you can go ahead at streamelements.com/burkmade/tips since we definitely can't monetize this shit.
No.
Did I ever tell you my remake for The Lion King, Burke? Did I ever tell you my remake?
You can tell me that later because what we're gonna do is talk about our last more fun before we get into some of the more serious topics.
Yeah.
Because the next two topics are going to take a lot out of us.
Yeah.
So today, I think it was today, the Robert Downey Jr. possibly joining Star Wars rumors. I know how Raul feels about anything mainstream or anything.
No, it's just like
big.
Everybody who works for the mouse, let's get them to work within everything for the mouse.
I mean, that's kind of like their thing. So yeah.
And I do want to point out that this Robert Downey Jr. topic, based off of like a lot of the rumors that are going on right now, might have a very, very, very minor spoiler for The Mandalorian season 2 because of a character's name.
Yeah. So we're going to discuss that. Let me go ahead and take these headphones off.
I was like, I don't know if you want to hear that one.
Honestly, it wouldn't have been a spoiler if you just hadn't said anything about it. Because we could have just
I'm
said
just kidding. This is not a spoiler at all.
The character was, and then just like not talked about that.
Okay.
Because we don't.
Well, I was going to reference
because we don't know what he would show it up in necessarily.
Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, me and Aiden know who the character is that he's supposedly playing. Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil it for Raul. But also, it is just a rumor. Like it's mainly a rumor. There's no like confirmation.
Yeah. This rumor has as much validity to it as Kanye West and Jeffree Star giving each other hand jobs at the Star Wars nightclub. Like that's just that's how.
I honestly think that has a little bit.
Oh yeah,
more validity, than this rumor, but still, like it is 100% still just a rumor. There's no confirmation, and to be honest, I don't want Robert Downey Jr. in Star Wars, and I really don't want him as that particular character. I think there are better actors. I think there's one in particular who has been playing that character in other forms for years, and would fit. So like, why not give him the job?
Yes.
And I mean, I know a lot of I know we like our Europeans, and that guy happens to be European. So like, why not?
Yeah. There's nothing about Robert Downey Jr. to me that screams that character. Like it just like to me, it doesn't make sense like at all. And I also
Dr. Dolittle again.
He's just playing Dr. Dolittle in Star Wars. Yeah. Like he keeps trying to like talk to Chewbacca, and Chewbacca's like, "Leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to fuck with you, bro." Like, but yeah, I feel like it would take me out too. Like seeing Robert Downey Jr. in a Star Wars movie, or whether it's like The Mandalorian season 3 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand where the rumor comes from for that character, but also like I just don't get Robert Downey Jr. in Star Wars. It doesn't make sense.
I think honestly the rumor comes for that particular character is because they don't think that they're gonna get a small name, no name actor to play that character.
Yeah.
But for me in particular, I think the person who plays him in other mediums is not a
Could do it.
no-name actor. Like that dude is not a no-name actor. Like he's
No.
got a recognizable name.
Yeah.
Maybe not a recognizable face unless you've seen like some of the other stuff he's been in recently, which honestly one of the other things he's been in recently is one of the biggest shows on Netflix in the past 2 years. So like
Yeah.
I think he would fit perfectly. But I think Robert Downey Jr. in Star Wars would be fine if it's something very, very minuscule, like kind of like Justin Theroux's cameo in The Last Jedi. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
fine. That wouldn't necessarily take me out of the movie. I mean, granted, that whole sequence took me out of the movie, but like,
That whole movie took me out of the movie.
well, I mean, I like the movie except for that particular sequence.
I love
But-
that movie.
Hey,
But-
bro. Good for y'all.
But that moment didn't like take me out of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't like, oh shit, Justin Theroux's in Star Wars, like, or like, oh shit, Daniel Craig's in Star Wars, or oh
Yeah.
shit, like none of that stuff.
Oh
took me
shit,
out of the
Riley
movie.
Reed's in Star Wars. Yay.
Ye-
Ooh, yikes.
I mean-
Is this when we bring the N-word into Star Wars canon? She just is rapping.
Oh god.
I'm telling you, man, I want to see this like highly like adult film, this gay nightclub Star Wars film directed by
Look,
Taika
man,
Waititi.
we all know that if we ever get a Tarkin film, the first thing he's gonna do is drop the N word with a hard R. Hard R.
Hard R. Hard R. He's just like Veda, and he like checks under the mask. He's like, I gotta make sure that's James Earl Jones under there and not before I drop this one on him.
Oh, it's Hayden Christensen.
Oh yeah, it is Hayden Christensen in
Yeah, I
blackface
mean, hey,
playing
actually,
James Earl
on
Jones.
just on that note, I think that is actually pretty dope that
Yes.
they're having Hayden come back. Like, I think that's awesome. I think
yeah.
that I think that
I love that.
between Hayden Christensen and Jake Lloyd, the Star Wars fandom as a whole did them so dirty and did them
Failed
so
them.
wrong. Like Jake Lloyd, like I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he is currently in like a psychiatric facility.
I think he's still in that side.
And a lot of that stems from the way he was treated as a fucking child
Yeah.
by adult fucking fanboys that couldn't fucking deal with the light of day because they've never come out of the fucking basement. Like,
Last I heard, he
that's
had
fucking
like some like high speed chase with like the fucking police or some shit.
yeah.
Because like I don't remember what happened, but like for some reason they were after him, and I'm just like, people have just failed this man
Yeah.
horribly. Like I feel so bad for him, and I think it would be awesome if they could like, if Jake Lloyd ever gets to a place in his life where like he's content with like Star Wars as a whole, and like they bring him back, similar to a way. Forgive me for forgetting his name, but the guy who played Jar Jar, brought him back for like the Jedi Temple kids
Ahmed
show.
Brooks.
Ahmed Brooks, yes.
Yeah.
Like I think it would be awesome
Or
if
sorry,
like, he got
Ahmed
to
Best.
Ahmed Best, yes.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
just mixed him and Makad Brooks. Like,
Yeah,
I just
no,
crossed
it's
their
all good.
names.
It's all
Yeah.
good.
I searched it up. He's been living closer to his family, but he's officially
Yeah.
been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia
Yeah.
in January 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
just not like,
Yeah.
and a lot of that stuff stems from just the way adult men treated a fucking child
yeah.
in a fictional fucking universe.
Yeah. Which sucks because like, you know, I grew up the perfect time period for the prequels. I was in
Yeah.
kindergarten when fucking Revenge of the Sith came out, and I was so excited. My mom took me out of school early that day so we could go see Revenge of the Sith on opening day. Like as a child, I loved Hayden Christensen. I loved Jake Lloyd because Anakin was like, he was my hero. Like,
Yeah.
I know everyone looks at Luke, but like Anakin for me was my favorite character. You know what I mean? So it really sucks the way that the fandom treats them. But I think that there's so much more now for Hayden Christensen to do, especially the way people do love the character now because of Filoni, what he did with
Yeah.
the Clone Wars and expanded upon Anakin and the way that we hear him referenced in the original trilogy. You know, I think it would be awesome if it's not just like a couple scenes where it's like, oh, that's Hayden Christensen. Like I would love to see in the Obi-Wan show, like scenes where Vader's like walking around thinking about Padme, like with his mask off because he's in a safe place where like he, you know, he can, you know, we can see like actual expression as an actor.
So
from Hayden
I'm
Christensen.
pretty positive that he's not going to be heavily involved in the Obi-Wan show. But I do know I don't know, but I'm 95% positive we are going to see him mask off for the first time ever, like not like from behind.
Yeah.
Because I think what is going to happen is he's gonna see Obi-Wan, or I mean, we know him and Obi-Wan are going to see each other. He's going to take that helmet off and he's going to say, "Look what you did to me."
Yeah.
Like that's literally what he's going to say. "Look what you did to me."
Yeah, I would love that, especially because like everyone, I feel like everyone universally agrees Hayden Christensen's best performance is the scene on Mustafar when he's just yelling at Obi, like "I hate you." Like it's amazing. Like I get chills watching that scene. But I think it would be awesome if people really love it and Hayden Christensen is like really enjoying himself being back. I mean, we all know that it's a series, you know, the Ahsoka series. I would love to see Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen acting opposite of each other, with Hayden Christensen bringing him back just like the way he was in Return of the Jedi as a Force ghost. Like, I think that would be really interesting.
So what I want to see in the Ahsoka series, I want to see the battle on Malachor, the lightsaber fight on Malachor. I want to see that in live action. Like, I want to see flashbacks to that.
That would be dope.
In live action. And I also want to see flashbacks of Ahsoka and Anakin together, like,
as
during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So you get Hayden Christensen back as Anakin, not just as Vader.
What do you think the chances are that we get Stinky the Hutt
in
the Ahsoka series?
Dude,
he's just like he's smoking death sticks talking to Ahsoka about Anakin.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Because, man, I had to.
Look, man, what's the chance that we're gonna see some pod racing? You know.
Well, I imagine we'll go for like another hour. So I think now is a good time to go ahead and go into our last two stories. Let's
just bring the mood down a little bit,
because I think they both kind of tie into each other. Our next story that we're going to talk about is Ray Fisher has come out and told the Wrap that they need to fucking get their shit together and fix their stories. Specifically, one reporter who keeps writing about the WB situation and him, because they said that he's left, or he's been written out of the Flash, and he's like, no, I've never publicly stepped down from anything officially, so I need you to go ahead and fix your shit.
Yeah. Because it was supposed to be like a Flash and Cyborg like movie at one point, right?
Yeah. So I mean, Raul, what do you got on this situation?
I think it's really important that these reporters, well, first of all, do their job ethically and, you know, what's the word I'm trying to say?
Like truthfully.
I get it. We all want clicks. If I could name the Nerdcore live show, hey, we're talking about dick today. I'd name it that because that would get me a bunch of clicks, right? Yeah. That would get me some clicks. But guess what gets me more clicks? Michael Keaton is the new DCEU Batman, right? But when we're talking about the career of a man who is right now facing a lot of scrutiny for standing up for himself and his cast's safety, that should have been put at the forefront on a set, I think it's absolutely despicable that they're running with this and trying to get clicks out of it. I think it's disgusting, honestly. And, first of all, you should always take everything with a grain of salt, right? Especially from these websites. Usually my rule of hand is Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, Variety. Either one of those three, report something, I'm usually pretty, It's like a
99% chance.
99% chance, right? I think it's incredibly disrespectful, especially because, and there's a reason I haven't talked about this on the Nerdcore live show, is because it's such a big thing that it's hard for me to dissect every little bit. Like devoting just 5 minutes to this type of topic would be, pretty disrespectful of me. But what Ray Fisher is doing right now is what I wish that a lot of people would do after going through an abusive time on set. It's just it's disrespectful that it's kind of being used as a motion to get clicks now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
I think, I mean, this whole situation is terrible. I mean, let's also make it clear, we don't know what the actual allegations are. We don't know exactly what it was that happened on set. I'm pretty sure we all have like an idea of what we think went on, given Joss Whedon's history, given the things that we know about Jeff Johns and all the people who work at Warner Brothers in general. I mean, I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan, but the way that he was removed off of that film, it sucks the way that the dude had to leave that film, especially given what was going on in his personal life. Which, regardless of how you feel as a man, as a filmmaker or whatnot, that's a horrible thing to go through for anyone, any human being going through something like that. It's awful, but it just sucks to me the way that people are still trying to silence Ray Fisher. This is something that we talk about all the time. We need to listen to people when they speak out. We've talked about this, Dwayne. I don't know if it was on stream or off stream. The amount of people who actually make up these kind of stories of allegations that aren't true versus to the ratio of the people who actually come out and tell their stories and they are true. You know what I mean? Like Ray Fisher, you look at the dude's IMDb page. There's a reason why the only movies that are listed on his IMDb page are Justice League, potentially The Flash, and Batman versus Superman. Because the dude is honest. And he's trying to be honest with us, the viewers, the audience, who needs to be aware of the properties that we're supporting with our money financially. Because we're all to blame for this. If we listen to these allegations and we listen to these stories of misconduct and we continue to support these creators or these corporate entities, and we're being irresponsible ourselves if we go into these things without knowing the whole truth and looking at it from different angles.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's awful that people are trying to silence him. I think it sucks, the people who are writing on these stories who are being biased towards Warner Brothers side of things because they have connections and they don't want to compromise those connections in order for their scoops, for their pay, for their stories that they write. Because these articles are getting a lot of click. There's always people talking about this topic. So, it's just a shame. I hope that things get settled for Ray Fisher. I hope that if he wants to continue on with the DCEU, that things are adjusted properly, at the corporate level. Like people who are in positions of power who don't need that position of power are removed properly. I hope that that happens in the future, so that way Ray can feel comfortable. And it isn't just Ray; it's the people who aren't big enough to be able to talk about these kind of things.
It's your PA.
Yeah,
It's your PAs. It's
absolutely.
You're a below the line worker.
This is the kind of stuff that when the stuff about Tom Cruise came out the other week, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, like good for him. He's, enforcing regulations and all this stuff." But it's like I totally understand where you're coming from on that side, but it's things like that lead to, because he felt comfortable treating someone who was lesser than him like you damn well know that if that had been Harrison Ford or if that had been like Emily Blunt or anyone else that's got a name, he would not have addressed that situation in the same manner. The reason he did that is because those were below the line nobodies that nobody knows their name. That's why he responded to that situation that way. And that's not okay. And things like that lead to things like this and people being okay with things like this. I'm not going to say that anything that happened on the Justice League set was racist, but I guarantee you that it was abusive, because we've heard other reports from other people that were not stars of the film about the way they were treated on set.
Yeah.
Right? We've heard about the way, like, Ray Fisher's barber was treated on set. We've heard the way, like, PAs and camera operators and, like, all these other people were treated on that set. And the reason it was okay was because of other situations that people have encountered and people have seen. And it's not okay. It's just accepted.
Yeah.
It's
Which
a
is the
damn shame.
problem. Yeah, that's a huge problem, is that we just accept it. We sit back and we say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. There's something we can do about it. You don't have to, have HBO. You don't have to watch, Justice League, the Joss Whedon version, which it technically isn't the Joss Whedon version because it's Zack Snyder's name on it. You don't have to go support, these films. Your life isn't going to end if you don't see, Robert Pattinson's The Batman. As much as I'm looking forward to films like that, you know what I mean? Like, if you're adamant about wanting change, like, do not support these things. Go out of your way to go support smaller film, the Raouls of the world. You know what I like? Go out of your way to support people like him who are treating his cast with respect, who are treating his crew members with respect, who genuinely care about people on a human level, which shouldn't have to be something that we have to have conversations about, which we're going to get into in the next one as well.
Also, let's not beat around the bush, man. This industry, not even just this industry, but this world has something against vocal black men.
Yeah.
Black men that are willing to stand up for themselves, willing to bring up these things. And it's sad. It's really sad to see the people who won't stand up for them, who won't give them the chance to listen, even though we spent a whole summer last year, of
Talking
y'all's
about
community,
uplifting people
of y'all's community,
we're gonna
people.
listen and
teaching people that you need to listen.
And that's where I'm at this point, when people are like, man, but what about a conversation? It's like, yo, we've been having a conversation for a year. Like, it's the time for me to talk. The time for me to talk and teach you, that was last year.
Yeah.
That was 6 months ago.
It's gone.
I've been talking and teaching for 6 months. You ain't been listening, so the conversation is over at this point. People are like, and I don't think we need to go as far as depending on how you like. For me personally, I don't understand the narrative of, yeah, but like, if you stop supporting DC, you're not supporting all of the below the line folks. It's like, I got nothing against any of them. If I don't go see the movie, they already got paid.
Yeah.
As someone who works below the line, 100% below the line. I'm not a director, producer, any of that stuff. I am 100% below the line. I already got paid. If you don't go see it, you don't go see it. That none of that money is going to go into my pocket.
Right.
It's similar to the way, like, I talk about with people and like creators on YouTube, right? It's a little bit different for this particular show, but like, anyone who comes on this show gets a portion of what is made on this show. On other shows, that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah. The whole reason we set out to do this is because it needs to be changed.
Exactly. I like, on some of the other shows that I'm on, I get paid what I get paid regardless of what we make on the show. So if you don't show up and watch it, to be honest, I don't frankly care, because I'm getting paid the same regardless.
Yeah.
Where it's different for this show. Like, I care if you come watch this show. Aiden cares if you come and watch this show, because what we get paid is dependent on people actually feeling like this show is worth their time and worth their money.
Yeah. Which is, isn't it so like astonishing that it's 2021 and we still have these conversations?
Yeah.
We still have these conversations. These conversations that, I'm sure all three of us here have been having our whole lives about, like, the struggle that we have is so much different than the struggle that other people, specifically white people, have. You know what I mean? So I'm so tired of just being treated like I'm not valid because people think I'm making things up because I want to feel, important. Like, I know growing up, I would tell my stories to people and I would say, hey, this happened to me. Oh, you're just making that up for attention. And now that they see, now that we've been, we're supposed to have been trapped inside of our houses for the past year, people aren't following that. But, those of us who do, and, the white people who did stay in their houses and they saw what was happening on the news and they realized, oh, wow, this is a horrible thing that's going on. I had no idea about it. They're the same people that we've been telling these stories for years, and they just didn't listen to us. Yeah. So you're also to blame. You can learn and move differently in the future, but you also got to look back at your past and, think about all the times that, a person of color told you about their struggle and you didn't give them the support that they needed, or you invalidated them. So we just need, continuing forward, we need to be listening to Ray Fisher. We need to be listening to the whole truth, everything that he has to say, even if he is making things up, which I don't believe he is at all. But we need to be listening. That's the problem. People aren't listening. They're jumping to conclusions. You got to listen. That is the biggest fight that we have in the world, is people need to listen. And the people who say that they're listening, but they don't listen. They hear you, but they're not listening because they immediately want to come back and rebuttal you before you even finish saying what you're saying,
Yeah, and on top of that, it's like we need to listen to Ray Fisher, but at the end of the day, none of us are the arbiters of the truth in this matter. Like, whether you personally believe that it happened or not, like, you don't need to go and like drag Ray Fisher through the mud. Like, if it didn't happen, they're gonna find out. The truth will come out.
Yeah.
Like just let the process be the process, and like stop trying to put this shit in the public and try this in the court of public opinion, and like force people to be quiet or scare people away from revealing the truth. Like, let the truth come out. Because if that is the truth, then that he should never be allowed to run a set ever again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it is the truth, but if that is the way he treats people, that he should not be allowed to run sets, period. And I'm not trying to come out here and advocate cancel culture and say cancel Joss Whedon. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is right now, we do not have the truth. So we should not be canceling Joss Whedon. We should not be canceling Ray Fisher. We should believe Ray Fisher, but that doesn't mean you have to cancel Joss Whedon in order to believe Ray Fisher. It just means that, hey, right now, like, Joss, maybe you might want to take a step back and just keep yourself out of the limelight.
The silence from Joss Whedon tells me more than I need to know.
Yeah.
The silence tells me more than I need to know.
But and like, that's the kind of stuff that I try to get across to people is like, I'm not out here to say like, hey, like, don't ever support Joss Whedon. That's not what I don't care if you support him or not. I don't give a shit. But what I am going to tell you is that this is what he did to people of color. And if you want to, and this is what he did to people on his set. So if you do support him, know what he is doing and know, like, by proxy, what you are supporting.
Yeah, absolutely.
We discussed a bit about, we discussed, Joss Whedon, but it's the same thing. It's like, it says a lot when somebody doesn't own up to what happened, right? Recently recorded an episode where we discussed in hand a little bit of the Shia stuff that happened with Shia LaBeouf. And we said, Shia outright came out and said, yeah, I did it. He goes, this is who I was. I did these terrible things and I was an ugly person. Yeah, it doesn't erase the fact of what he did, and it doesn't make it any better. But it says a lot for somebody to own up to what they've done. And when Joss is not coming out to own up to this, it says a lot. It says a lot.
Yeah. It doesn't cleanse anything, but at least you can look at that person with even the slightest bit more respect for the fact that they can be honest about it, really, honesty is something that just is so undervalued these days. Just be honest with people, regardless of your actions. Just tell the truth, you know, and it'll get you a lot farther. But
People are way more forgiving when you've been honest with them.
absolutely.
Like it is so much easier. Like I am so much more willing to, like, if he does make the honest effort to support Shia LaBeouf in the future, than I am, you know, Joss Whedon or things from DC or some of the other things that I still struggle with supporting, kind of because I have to, like, you know, because of the fact that he was like, you know what, y'all, I did fuck up. I didn't, like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I didn't do it. I'm not gonna say that I didn't hurt people. Like, I did it. And I wasn't in a great place. And he even said, like, that's not an excuse for why I did it. He's just like, but no, like, I was not in a good place.
Yeah.
So the person I am when I am in that place is not the same person that I am, when I'm getting the help that I need, when I'm sober, when, you know, I'm not in that dark place. Like, so it's so much easier to make that leap and give someone that chance when they've been honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and
Man, we still got another topic to go, man.
Not to bring the mood down even more. I mean, I don't even know how to, like, preface this topic.
This is the accumulation of everything that we just talked about.
Yeah,
people who've been enabled who shouldn't be enabled.
Yeah,
you know,
like, I don't know how to, like, properly introduce this topic or segue to this topic or even, like, summarize this topic. So we're just gonna say
I'll say what the topic is off the way that we have it in our little notes here on the chat.
Yeah.
Because this is what it is: DC terrorist attacks.
Yeah,
these are 100, 100,000, 1 million, whatever your number is, percent terrorist attacks. These are not Trump supporters. They may be, but these are terrorists who have acted in a way that people who, if they were not white, would not have been treated, you know?
If they were
mind
not,
if they were not
send
white, something?
Yeah. Go for it.
I'm gonna send you a video because it plays really well into what we were discussing before.
Is it the video that you retweeted earlier?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I can actually play it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, like, belong to us.
Okay.
But we can definitely, because I think I know it's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the one from MSNBC.
Yeah, from what during the El Paso massacre.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
are you sending it on Twitter or?
I sent it to Dwain privately on Twitter.
Okay.
I was gonna say I have it bookmarked.
Oh, I have it bookmarked too. Yeah.
But my thing is, if these people were not white, the streets of Washington, D.C. would be running red with blood right now.
Running red. When you talk about conservatives,
it would not have been 4 people dead. It would have been, 100, 150, 200,
400.
I don't know how many people were there. I think it was probably about 400 to 500 people total stormed the Capitol. But like people would have been shot dead, no questions fucking asked, if this had been people of color. If this had not been a group of fucking entitled Chads and fucking Karens, it would have just been National Guard, shoot them, fucking shoot them.
Just look at last summer.
Like, that's all it would have been.
And everything that we've been fighting for since before last summer, you know it would have all completely gone down the drain too, because that bullshit Antifa narrative that Trump supporters and terrorists have been pushing. That
stupid ass fucking senator from fucking Florida.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or I don't even think he was a senator. I think he's
Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, I think he's a representative.
He's a House member. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's stupid, and you can hear him getting fucking boos like the second he said it, and this stupid motherfucker still had the nerve to get up there on the fucking podium and try to say that shit. And we're
And
like,
it's
bro,
it's always that's them who are always saying after every single time a school shooting happens, what is the first thing that we hear? Let's not politicize this. Let's not make
Yeah.
this about politics. But they go up to the podium and say that?
Yeah.
Come on. Like, God, it's hypocritical. Incredibly hypocritical, dude.
it's,
I mean,
and,
this whole scenario is the definition of
And-
hypocrisy.
and people are like, I can't believe this happened, man. Like, yo, how did we get here? And I'm like, you know how we got here? We got here because on December 30th, 2020, Trump tweeted out, "See you in DC on January 6th."
People have
you
merch
think this shit
with the date on it.
You think this shit wasn't a fucking plan? You
Yeah.
think this wasn't organized?
I live in a fantasy
This,
land.
you're not living in America.
People on, I mean, I don't know if y'all saw this. People on TikTok were going, "Wait till the liberals see what we have planned January 6th. Wait till they see what's coming January 6th." We saw people wearing MAGA merch with the date January 6th on it.
At these attacks, at the terrorist attacks,
the
there were
attacks.
people with merch with the date on it.
Yeah.
You know how
With
long
the,
it takes
with the Captain America Civil War logo on it,
Do
which,
you
by
know
the
how
way, watch the
long-
fucking movie because he would not support you dumbasses.
Yeah. It's like, do you know how long it takes to get custom merch in the current climate right now? It takes at least 2.5 weeks to get custom merch. So they had that shit planned for 2.5 weeks at least.
Yep.
And y'all
This-
out here saying, I can't believe this happened. How did we get here?
Well, once again,
We got here because you aren't paying attention. We got here because you aren't listening. We got here because you don't realize who and what this country is.
Yeah.
That's how we got here.
like that video, I want to get the man's name because I always forget who their name is, but you know, it's about the innocence that white folk refuse to confront. You know, yeah, I've said it before. You know, they live in this sort of this sort of rose-colored view of America. This is the country that was built upon the bodies of black and brown folk. You know, it's literally built upon the blood and the bodies of these people.
Yeah.
You know, this has been us for so long. This has been us.
And it's like when people are like, hey, but like my grandparents didn't own slaves, or yo, we're so far removed from slavery. Your parents weren't slaves, right? When I hear shit like that, I'm like, well, guess what, motherfucker? The sins of the father. Like this ain't a situation where no, those sins are on they're on you. Those
What
sins
did
are
they
on
do
you
to change it?
because the country is still operating with systems that are designed to keep us maybe not physically in bondage, but they're designed to keep us in bondage. We are dependent on all of these systems that are designed to keep us dependent on the system while allowing melanin deficient individuals freedom. And I say that because I don't want to, the reason I say it like that is because there are like my niece and nephew are white passing.
Yeah.
So they benefit from those systems.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that, like,
I'm right there with them,
like,
man.
like my nephew's name is not fucking Tyrone. Like his name is Ethan.
My name is Aiden, you know?
Like if you look at my nephew, you see his name, you would think that both of his parents are white. Same with my niece. You would think if you just look at her and him, look at their names, these two little white kids.
Yeah.
So they benefit from the system. When they're walking down the street, cops aren't going to be like, what the fuck are you doing in this neighborhood?
Yeah.
Like, they live in a super, 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 like, well-off, like, white neighborhood in my hometown, right? It ain't nothing but white folk out there.
I grew up you know, I always say this. I grew up with a very, financially stable upbringing. You know, the house that I grew up with my grandparents, and there's nothing that shocked them more, which it shouldn't have. Again, this is, me telling them you need to listen. Then when a cop pulled me over in front of our own house, asking me, "What am I doing in this neighborhood?" Motherfucker, I'm walking into my fucking house. That's what I'm doing. Just because I don't look like I belong here, like that whole mindset is a problem. And it's the same mindset that all the people have that attended this terrorist attack. You know,
that executed this terrorist attack.
That executed
because
this.
For everyone who's talking about like, oh, they just like stormed the Capitol. Well, if you go ahead and read the fucking news from the past 2 days and see some of the revelations that have come out, there were explosive devices planted in the Capitol building.
Mm-hmm.
This was planned,
right? You think this is a fucking game? Like, they were stealing documents from the Capitol building. On December 25th, the entire, like, a majority of the East Coast network for AT&T was down because there was a terrorist attack on American infrastructure. Everyone thinks that suicide bombing was just like a dude trying to... No. He took out an AT&T like data hub, or I don't know the actual like term for it.
Yeah.
But like one of the like switches that controls a lot of the East Coast and the like that section of the country, their cell service and their internet.
These people have become everything that they say that they stand against, which is absolute insanity to me. The fact that they hate brown people, they hate Muslim people because they view all Muslim people as terrorists, which is a fucked up and a horrible thing to do. But that's one of the traits that comes along with this specific group. And they have become everything that they say that they hate about the way that they view those people, which is insanity to me. It is the literal definition of insanity that these people preach one thing and they advocate against it, and on a daily basis they go out and they perform it. And nothing like what I saw today when I woke up this morning and I saw the videos of black men, black women, black non-binary people. I don't want to assume anything about these people, but cleaning up the mess that these people left behind in this building and on the streets. It crushes your heart to see that all of this, all the actions that have been performed in the last couple of days, and we're still no better in this country than where we were.
And then to top it off, the performative bullshit that's fucking coming with it now, like all these stupid fucks. Hey, I'm gonna resign from the cabinet. For what? For what? You ain't helping nobody. Yeah. If you wanted to help, you would actually keep your ass in the cabinet and help pursue 25th Amendment proceedings.
Yeah. You would
do something to stop this bullshit.
You would publicly say, these actions do not reflect me. I will do everything in my power to stop this. And you would say, we need to invoke the 25th. Even you, Nancy Pelosi, who talks about, oh, we called Mike Pence and he left us on hold. You have the fucking authority to go forward with impeachment again. We shouldn't even. I mean, that's a whole other topic.
You can have an emergency session. You can call an emergency session.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you really want, you're just being as performative as these dumb fucks who did this. We need action and we need it now. We cannot afford to wait 12 more days. We cannot.
We've got Congress, or we've got the House, right?
Yeah.
They got the House. They can get impeachment rolled through. But I mean, the big if is the Senate. But even then, like, I think there's enough going on now. Like, we would get him removed from office.
Yep, absolutely.
And the biggest part is so that this shit doesn't happen again. That's what they're not realizing. Like, I understand. Like, look, Georgia got called, we got Georgia. Cool, right? But that shit was close as fuck.
Yeah.
Like the Asif, who is it, Loeffler? That was who he was running against, or was it the other guy? But that race was decided by like a few thousand votes. You know why it was decided that way? Because they were so short-sighted when they turned down the vote for $2,000 checks. Like, I understand that they attached some things to it that were gonna be harmful to like Twitter, Facebook, and a couple other things. Like, I get that. But at the end of the day, the narrative that was ran with is, hey, the Democrats stopped you from getting $2,000 checks. So what would have been a landslide was a very close race.
Yep.
Because if they had got $2,000 checks, the race would have been over, done.
Yeah.
And by the time anything that would have been doable as far as like that was concerned, you could have like redone legislation to get rid of some of the stuff that was put in that initial bill. It's like you realize that in the short term, yes, you got to give up that, but in 4 weeks, you own Congress.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man! Like, you got to stop being so short sighted in the now. They got to start looking at the long game.
Yeah. I'm just worried.
That's what these fucks have been doing. These motherfuckers have been playing chess while y'all are up here playing checkers.
Mm-hmm.
People who think that this is like, oh, we just have to make it to the 20th. Once Biden's in office, then like it'll all go away. It's not going to go away. If anything, I'm more concerned for what's going to happen on the 20th. I don't know about you guys, but I've been contemplating whether or not if I should be watching that live feed.
Nope.
On that day.
I'm not gonna watch
because I do not know what actions are going to be made. This is not FBI, bro. This ain't me saying like this ain't me like saying I'm thinking, but like you got to be dumb if you're thinking that some wild, crazy, radical motherfucker isn't thinking of doing some wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there are gonna be some people on some dumb shit on the 20th. They might want to just say, hey, we gonna do this in the Oval Office and like not do this shit.
Yeah,
public.
If anything, I genuinely believe that doing this out in the open is a very, very dangerous scenario.
Yeah. I mean, you guys surely think that they'll do that? I mean, you saw these videos, like the police, the security let them in. Yeah. Like
I mean,
like
so
saying,
to be fair, that was at one location.
Yeah.
People stormed from multiple locations because there were other locations where the police did not let them in. And I don't know if you saw the video, but like it looked like one person got killed there at the steps.
Yeah.
Because they like pushed her back and she fell and hit her head on the step.
Fucking busted her head open.
And they like when they picked her up, she was limp.
Yeah.
Like she was not moving. So I understand people want to run with the narrative that the cops let them in, but that was at one spot. That wasn't everywhere.
And this ain't on some Blue Lives Matter shit.
No.
This ain't on some Blue Lives Matter shit.
Blue lives don't exist.
I just want to be accurate, like as accurate as possible.
Yes.
Like I don't want to blame all. Now, do I think that there needs to be an investigation? Because obviously they got some fucking men on the inside, obviously. Because that bullshit is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
signaling them in as if it's a plane taking off.
I do not want to do what they've been doing to us and just broadly label all of the Capitol Police as, traitors and
traitors
and aiding and abetting. Because some of them did try to stop this. It didn't look like any of those people had weapons, which I know why they don't have weapons, because you can't have weapons within a certain distance of certain parts of DC.
Yeah.
You have to have a special clearance in order to have that. But
I mean, the images
still,
of shirtless men wearing fucking barbarian helmets and, wearing, having the flag like dragging on the ground, which is like also another one of these, hypocritical things, that they preach. They shit on people for taking a knee, but, you'll just gladly drag your American flag across the ground, whatever. Go fuck yourself on that one.
And it's
standing in the chamber. Like that is insane. That is insane to me. The fact that I saw images of people holding out guns, aiming at terrorists within the chamber.
Yeah.
I mean, the image that we have on the thumbnail for this video looking in the background, that is a wild image.
Yeah.
And if that does not put fear in your heart, I don't know what will.
Like we have come to what could possibly be the final days of America. Like
honestly.
Like,
and that's the thing, man. It's the future that worries me. It's like, what is to become of this land?
And I know people are going to take some of the things that I've said out of context, probably. Anyone who's not,
oh, they will,
a frequent watcher of anything that I'm on. If anyone new is finding this, that's not hanging up in the fucking background for no fucking reason. I spent 11 and a half years, representing this country. So I think I've earned every right to commentate on the things that are happening. I literally gave blood, sweat, and tears to this country.
Yep.
So don't get it fucking twisted and think that I'm some fucking liberal, bleeding heart, social justice warrior. You can fuck all the way right off with that.
Yeah.
All the way off with that. Because I bet the dumb fuck that's thinking that shit couldn't serve because I had asthma, or couldn't serve because I had bone spurs, or couldn't serve because of X, Y, and Z soft ass medical diagnosis, or whatever your excuse was.
The guy who failed his ROTC course in high school.
Like if I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it. Like you've got no. You have obviously you have the right to say whatever you want, but come on, man.
I mean, you have every right to think dumb fuck things, and you have every right to say dumb fuck things. It don't mean that you aren't a dumb fuck, because you're still a dumb fuck.
It doesn't clear your consequences,
It doesn't.
I don't understand this narrative that you have to blindly accept everything that the American leadership said. No, you don't. Yeah. That's the one of the founding ideals of America, is that we don't have to all agree. We just all have to coexist. And we
have to do it peacefully.
Yeah, and right now we aren't coexisting.
If you aren't happy because Joe Biden won the 2020 election, guess what? You have 4 more years. If you want to change that shit, if Trump decides to fucking run again, you can go fucking vote for Trump. If that's what you want to do, you can do it. Do it in the way that you preach, that we should have, in 2016, I wasn't old enough to vote, but I know who I would have voted for, regardless of if I liked that person or not. I know who I would have voted for. We lost. We lost that race. We did. It's what happened. Whether you believe it was due to interference or not, regardless, we lost that race. And guess what? We waited 4 more years and we said, we're going to change it peacefully. People went out. They voted. Record numbers for people voted because they wanted change, because they were tired of where this country is headed. That's what you need to do. If you're upset because you can't talk about how much you hate black people on Twitter and you're going to get canceled for it, and you think it's all Joe Biden's fault, and you think that we're all fucking snowflakes, then go out of your fucking way and go vote for another fucking racist white man to be president. Go fucking do it. But do it fucking peacefully, god damn it. It doesn't make your actions okay, but again, if you want to be a dumb fuck, you can be a dumb fuck. This country gives you every right to do it. It's so heartbreaking to me where we are headed, because I'm not seeing any change. I'm not seeing any fucking change coming out of this. I'm seeing people acknowledging it because they're getting views. I'm seeing CNN run it because they're getting views. If this wasn't getting views, they wouldn't be talking about it. Again, No one fucking talked about the white dude who blew himself up in the AT&T building. No one fucking talked about it. If that man had been a person of color, everyone would have talked about how this is an attack against the American people.
That was the crazy thing. They said, like, I think one of the headlines was, "Man dies in the bombing," and it's like, no, that was a suicide bombing. That was a terrorist attack. That's what that was. Call it what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Like, people.
But
who are
white
like,
people can't be terrorists.
You're like, oh,
Dwayne.
you shouldn't have a problem with what's going on in DC. I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Not the Capitol building, not the White House, not the president. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. It don't matter if you're a fucking American. If you are an enemy to the democratic process and the Constitution of the United States, I took an oath against you. It doesn't matter if you're white, brown, whatever fucking color under this goddamn sun. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I care about America and the Constitution of the United States, even with all of the problems and the faults that are in it, because there are some problems. I ain't saying it's perfect. But the Constitution is what gives us the ability to fix those problems.
Absolutely. If you don't like the way that this country is handling whatever your perceived problem that you have with the country this week is, that's why we vote. That's why you have the ability to choose who you want to represent you in a position of authority, to be able to bring up these topics, to be able to go through the legal process to get this country to be the way that you want it to be. You know, that's why we vote. You don't plan a fucking coup and try to overthrow the Capitol and steal Nancy Pelosi's mail, and you know,
all these people that are like, I love America, this is democracy. And it's like, no, you're literally trying to create a dictatorship. You're trying to put someone in power that was not voted into power. That is a dictatorship, my dudes.
Never in a million years would I have thought Donald Trump from Home Alone 2 Lost in New York would have this much fucking power.
Like, you're literally trying to make America not a democracy while you're protecting democracy. Like, do you not understand how fucking stupid you are? Yeah. Like, go get your fucking clown makeup and get in the mirror and fucking put it on.
All y'all some Joaquin Phoenixes.
Like, fuck, man. Like,
so frustrating. It's frustrating. It's sad. It makes you sad. It makes you angry. It makes you question, you know?
And these are the same motherfuckers that are like, wearing a mask infringes on my civil liberties.
Yeah.
Really, bro? Really?
Yeah.
Like, did y'all see the picture of the woman from LA that was walking home?
Yes.
And she lives near the like, I forget what the building's called, but it's like City Hall or whatever in LA. She lives like 2 blocks from there. And there was a protest going on, and she was walking home, and some of the protesters grabbed her, assaulted her, and maced her.
Yeah.
And nobody was
a black woman, and black woman,
and nobody was arrested. They got pictures of these motherfuckers' faces.
Yes.
And nobody was arrested.
Yeah. And especially this during, like, you know, after everybody on the internet was praising the ground that Stacey Abrams was walking on, right? You know, everybody was saying this was my Captain America, and still yet there is no help for black women out there, bro. Like y'all be saying that, you know, what's it called? Black folks just saved the country because they won America for y'all. But y'all ain't going into those crowds and helping a black woman not get hurt. You know?
That's the thing. And what's crazy is, you know what it took? Because at that protest, there were like law enforcement there. You know who got that woman out of that situation? Bystanders. Yep. People that were they weren't part of the protest, but they saw what was happening and stopped it. Not the people that we pay taxes to, you know, pay them to stop
an
that
insane
shit from
amount of money. An insane amount of money.
It wasn't those folks. Like I saw a tweet and I fucking love this tweet. I paid my taxes the other day to see crackers get shot. Yeah. When nobody shot, I want my fucking money back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like if you go and shoot the black folks who are peacefully protesting for our lives, but
playing the violin,
but you ain't gonna
on public
shoot,
property,
but you ain't gonna
getting tear gassed.
You ain't gonna shoot all these domestic terrorists that are white. Give me my motherfucking money back.
Yeah. Show you what $1 trillion defense budget does, man.
Run that shit back, nigga. Run that shit back. Give me my y'all late with my stimmy. Y'all late with my stimmy and give me my money.
If we want to talk about the defense budget, we can talk about that. I got a whole nother problem with that.
Hey, bro, Dessert Men Live #2.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, almost all of that budget goes towards fucking aircraft. Like that's what that budget is. So just a real quick to
y'all seen Captain America the Winter Soldier?
To touch that topic. All right. Everyone who's like, hey, we need to cut the defense budget back. I'm gonna tell you right now, cutting the defense budget back will not get rid of the missiles. It will not get rid of the guns. It will not get rid of the ships. It will not get rid of the planes. All it will do is cost people their jobs. Because what they're going to do is they're just going to cut jobs. They're not going to stop buying the shit that you want them to stop buying. They're just going to start cutting jobs. Hey, they want us to cut by $1 million. All right, cool. How many people do we have to fire? That's what they're going to do. All right. So
it all comes from an honest place, but you have to look at it realistic. You have to look at it realistically.
And I'm telling you this as someone who watched this happen over the course of over a decade. I watched my friends get told, hey, thank you for your service, but we no longer want you here. All because they needed to make cuts. They didn't stop building, $1.3 billion jets. $1.3 billion per fucking jet. They didn't stop building those. They just fired my homies. That's what they did. So just understand that when you say we want to scale back the budget. Like, just understand what is truly going to happen. All right?
What people really want is they want it redistributed.
Yes.
That's what people want. They want redistribution.
I understand the military complex and how it's built and how it's kind of built to... It's not exactly built to... It's built to be built on the backs of people of color. But what I will tell you is, for those of us who do come from those situations, it is so beneficial, and it is such a like do not underestimate how helpful it is to get you the fuck up out of that situation, because it doesn't trap you. You ain't trapped. You only got to do 4 years, and after that, peace. You use that 4 years to better yourself, to build your finances, to get that paper up, stack them checks, and then now what you've done is now you can start building generational wealth for people of color off the backs of the American government. But you got to understand the system and how the system is built, and don't play yourself.
Don't.
So what we need to do is call for redistribution of the budget, not cut the budget, because it's like 2/3 of the military budget is payroll.
And you know how you do that? Peaceful protests, voting,
changing who is in power. That's how you do that. When people say defund the police, we're not saying get rid of that money. What we're saying is stop buying guns and tear gas and riot gear and fucking troop carriers that they do not need for a fucking police force. Stop buying that shit.
When I was in middle school in the year 2000, I was in middle school from the years 2012, I believe, to 2014. And one of my history, okay, yeah. I know.
I had already been to and from Afghanistan at that point.
My history book was printed in, I believe, the year 1991. We need that money to go into education, so that way it's accurate and we're learning things unbiased. We need to stop treating our education system as if we're, as if other countries are preaching them propaganda. We are being preached propaganda. We got to be responsible for the actions of this country, and it has to be just, man.
And not just the actions now. We need to be responsible for the actions of the past as well.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was always surprised at how many pages were devoted. Not even like a full page devoted to all the imperialistic missions in Latin America during the Cold War. Like shit, not even like a freaking paragraph devoted to that shit.
Like there's so many things that happened in this country's history that people just don't know about. They just have no fucking idea happened. Like you want to talk about like the Banana Wars and like the
Hell, Black Wall Street, Burke. What everybody learns with a TV show.
The Tulsa massacre. Like what? You're just learning about that in 2020?
Yep.
Like the things that we don't know simply because they're not in our history books. And because teachers aren't allowed to teach them because the school district says, nah, that's not in the curriculum. Yeah. Because we have to teach to the test. We have to make sure that our students pass the tests so that we get this money from the government so that we can keep the schools open.
Because the directors of our district need more money, not the teachers.
You're basically indoctrinizing a bunch of people, basically making them believe that this country has always been beautiful and great and nothing bad can come out of it. Yes. And that the systems that they're built upon work and basically or salvage nothing, and basically they're indoctrinized and basically they create the people that you just saw a couple of days ago storm that Capitol.
And if you have the audacity to question it, you're met with hostility.
Yeah. Or you're told my beautiful
like
phrase.
Even things that are as simple as like, we just don't like, did you guys have to take world history in high school?
Yeah.
Yes.
So like I had to take world history in high school. That shit stopped at like World War II.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, do you know how much history has happened in the last,
don't even get me started
years?
on that, bro. That thing that freaking course doesn't touch the African kingdoms, do they?
There are people who think World War II was some shit that happened like 300 years ago.
Sadly, mine didn't, but that's like, Texas, right?
Mine did, but when I look at the world history, right? You know what they cover for like Mexico, Central America, South America?
Let me guess. Conquest.
Aztecs, Mayans, and that's like
yep.
Yeah, conquest. That's it.
They don't talk about they don't talk about Mexico as they became a power in Central America. They don't talk about South America and like and all the stuff that happened there. They don't touch on, like, they talk about China and they talk about like the dynasties back in the day. They don't talk about Japan and basically conquering all of Asia in the 20s, 30s, and 40s.
They don't tell. I mean, they do tell you, but they don't show you accurately how much of a fucking game changer to our society that we live in today. America dropping a fucking nuclear bomb on Japan, on people who were bystanders who had nothing to do with with what was going on in the world at the time. How many lives were lost? Like what they do is they roll out the projector. They roll out the TV or they turn on the projector. They play you Pocahontas by Disney. They show you Schindler's List. And then maybe if you got a cool teacher, they'll show you Grave of the Fireflies. And they go, that's world history.
I was going to say, they might show you like Saving Private Ryan.
Same forever.
They might,
Like,
or
like-
they'll show you Black Hawk Down or the Hurt Locker.
It's wild. Just the pure amount of blinders that we put on in this country. And like, let's not even get into the like you want to talk about the atrocity we committed abroad. Let's not that's not even getting into the atrocities that we committed here, like at home.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about the indigenous people of this country?
Ugh.
You want to talk about what we did to the Japanese American citizens during World War II?
You want to talk about the concentration camps that we currently have in this country and had in the past? Like, y'all want to talk about that?
You want to talk about the Kingdom of Hawaii? That's still like what we did to them. We just said, you know what?
But pineapple on pizza, Dwayne.
Don't fuck.
But
Let's not
pineapple
even
on
fucking
pizza.
get into that. But like literally all of the different things that we've done to like make America great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're fucking trash. This country is trash. And anyone who says otherwise, America has the potential.
Yes.
It has the potential. America has unlimited potential. But as a country, we are right now we're trash. We are trash.
I saw your tweet.
We say this and we're met with if you don't like it, leave.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. You
I'm
don't
in
like
my
Joe
ancestral land.
You don't like Joe Biden's America? Bitch, you leave.
Go to Canada.
Yeah.
That's what we said we would do. We said we were going to Canada, bro. Go to Canada. I think I saw a fucking Trumper post. I'm moving to Canada.
They don't want
If you don't like the shit, if you don't like the shit that Joe Biden proposed, my nigga, you are not gonna like Canada.
Nope,
my nigga, you
not
will
at
not
all.
like it.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go
I saw
back.
your tweet the other day, man. You put it best. I have never been more embarrassed and ashamed to be an American than I am today.
Exactly.
And that's not to say that I can't that can't change the future. I would love to be proud. I would love to wave the flag of this country the way that these fucking idiots do and be so proud of this country. But I'm not. I'm not.
We have unlimited potential. And anyone that doesn't like America, go back to where you came from. Oh wait, I can't because I don't know where the fuck I'm from.
I'm where I'm from.
Because yo
Oh,
fucking
where are you from? I'm from here. Oh, you
From
from
here.
here?
This land I'm standing on, this
No,
is where I'm
hey,
from.
yo, Gio, you're right. The Dole fucking Fruit Company was like instrumental in everything that happened in Hawaii. And the crazy thing is, these motherfuckers, their farms in Hawaii are like the biggest tourist attraction in the state.
God damn it.
They turned colonization and genocide into a tourist attraction.
America.
That's-
America.
I wish like when I saw everything that was going down, you know what I said? This is America.
Yep.
100%. This is fucking America. I was not surprised. I was not shocked. I was not awed. I was just like, yeah, this.
Yep.
All we're seeing now is Twitter in the real world.
Yep.
The shit that we see on Twitter day in and day out. Whenever we say, hey, let's be better human beings, the people that come into our mentions, that slide into my fucking DMs, we just saw that in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a group chat with a whole bunch of my fucking homies from Afghanistan. I had to leave the group chat because one of those dumb fucks was there in DC. And this motherfucker's posting pics, posted up, posing, and all the other motherfuckers are like, yeah, man, good job. You're doing great things for America. And I'm like, all of y'all do not understand what is really going on in the world
Nope.
because you're all white.
You're
All of
looking
you.
at it from such a skewed point of view. You only see this much.
Like,
You're not looking at the whole picture,
What I
man.
really want to know, and I pose this question: if there's anybody in the chat that's watching later on the replay, go ahead, drop a comment. What has changed for you now that Joe Biden is president of the United States? What's changed for you? Please tell me. What has changed for you, white America? What's different?
Comment it, put it in the chat,
'Cause
send
I'll
a DM, have a fucking conversation with us about it.
Because
that's what I want.
I'll tell you right now, for a brief second, I felt a little bit safer. Now, I feel less safe, but it's because of the reaction that these people are having. That makes me feel less safe and less secure. But just if I thought there was going to be a peaceful transition, things were going to be cool moving forward, I would feel a little bit more safe. Yeah. I would feel a little bit more secure. So tell me what's really changed for you. Oh, taxes might be higher? Really? Do you make more than $250,000 a year? Do you? Becca at fucking Wendy's? No,
with
you
3
don't.
teeth.
So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That don't change for you.
It'd be Tom who's making like 25,000 a year who'd be out here saying like,
when we
my
say
taxes.
when we say eat the rich, oh, but my parents. Fucking Tristan, we ain't talking about your fucking daddy that makes $200K a year. No, we're talking about the idiots that made $11 billion in the fucking pandemic.
Who just became the richest man in the world.
That's the bullshit we're
Bezos.
talking about. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about your little mama and your little daddy that are out there cheating left and right on each other on the business trips. That's not what we're talking about. So pull your head out of your fucking ass, look in the mirror, and figure out what the fuck is actually different as we try to make life better for all human beings.
That's all we want. I got my haircut today. I was talking to the barbershop and I said, I never realized how fucking tiring and how hard it would be to get people just to love each other.
Let us not forget, man. Let's not forget that the people who keep enabling this too, who aren't being, called out as much as they should. You're Tommy Lahrens of the world.
Let's not even look.
Yeah, you're the pundit.
Look,
keep enabling.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I've met her.
Yeah,
she was one of the nicest person I've ever met. To my face.
Yeah.
Right. I've met her. I've actually had conversations and interactions with her. Mm-hmm. In person, she was completely different. So I don't know how much. I don't know how much of this is for the clout and the check, and how much of that is really her. Yeah.
Well, and I'm not specifically saying Larry. I'm talking,
but I will say, and that's what I was gonna say. I will say, people that do that shit still deserve to be called out, because even if it's not really you, even if it's just a character that you put on, even if it's just for a check, that it's you are doing so much harm. Mm-hmm. It's like when I talk about the Wonder Woman 1984 issues that I have with that movie,
which are valid.
My problem with that is 100% the irresponsibility of what you're putting on screen. I'm not saying that movies that did the same thing before are horrendous. I'm not even saying that movie is horrendous. All I'm saying is we are in a different place in the world right now. We know more. We are more accepting. We are more open. So we need to be more responsible. And holding people responsible and telling people, hey, you can do better is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a really good conversation, guys. And I hope that people watching this, the people who disagree with us on anything that we just had to say, I hope you're fucking learning. I hope you're paying attention. I hope that you're not just tweeting out to your 3 Twitter followers and talking to your girlfriend, who's also your sister, about what's how much of fucking idiots we are. I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're trying to learn. I hope you're trying to understand people's frustrations and their genuine fears about everything going on. And I hope the I hope that things change in the future. That's all we want. We just want change.
Yep.
All right, so I mean that's been the debut episode of Dessert Men Live. Yeah, it was some real lighthearted,
Oh yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
easy
man,
conversation, right?
Hold on, bro. Where are the impressions? We didn't get to make impressions. You know?
Yo,
Hey,
I'm gonna have to clip that part out.
Yeah, bro. Streamelements.com /Burke Made. If you want $20
Slash tip. Sorry.
Yeah, slash tip.
Slash tip.
You know, $20. Just send it in. I mean, that's all we got to say about that. Just put in $20.
Yeah.
$20.
$20 and up, and you know what? I'll read your super chat or your fucking stream element. That's what
I
I'll
will
do. I'll
swing my dick around like a fucking helicopter.
No, you won't, because that'll get the channel pulled.
I will.
Channel.
I'll do it in your DM if you would like. But you
Yeah.
know,
Real quick, just to
I'll
shout
show you
out,
what this mouth do.
all of our good friends. Sabrina Ramirez is in the chat.
yes.
Oh, yo, Serena.
Resident
Sabrina,
dessert woman.
I appreciate you joining. Another member of Dessert Men that maybe we
Yes.
could possibly have on the show at some point.
Oh yeah.
But we do have conflicting shows right now.
Got
so,
to.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm
we'll
supposed
try.
to be streaming right now, and I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna push it back.
Hey man.
Hey, look, I got like 3 things to watch, and then I got another show tonight. So
Yeah.
I on that note, I guess we'll go Raul first. Where can everybody find you if they want to see more of you and your sex appeal?
My sex appeal. Definitely, if you want to see this beautiful face, it's live Mondays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on twitch.tv/thenerdcore, CORPS. But if you truly, truly, truly want to see more of me, let's make your content better in 2021. Go to RaulAMendoza.com/contact. Let's get your videos edited. Let's get them color graded. Let's do something to make your content look good. Because remember, life is good, but it can be better. And the
Bro,
Nerdy
no.
Chicano on both Instagram and Twitter.
Bro, no.
No.
Your
no.
content is good, but it can be better.
I'm not
Bro.
doing that accent.
Yeah, I was gonna just talk about a stereotype, bro.
Yeah. Hey, I can do it. Y'all can.
All right, Aiden, what about you? Where can everybody find you?
Man, y'all can find me anywhere and everywhere at Aiden Kossick, AIDEN KOSSICK. Check out my Twitch channel, which I'm looking forward to starting up come this March, twitch.tv/Aiden Kossick. And if you want, put in $20 on the show, and I'll swing my dick around like a helicopter for you in your DMs.
I'll show you what my mouth do.
Oh yeah,
My God. All right, y'all.
that's $25.
All right, so for everybody, you can find me pretty much everywhere at Burke Made. That's Twitter, Instagram, here on YouTube, because obviously you're watching on YouTube, but also Twitch. On Twitch, I'm on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. Yeah,
Saturday.
Monday, Tuesday, Saturday. Right now, I did have something scheduled for Fridays, but this kind of bumped that. So Monday, Tuesdays, and maybe Wednesdays coming in the future. Twitch.tv/BurkeMade. You can find me every Tuesday on Schmodown Backstage at 12:30. Friday, the Inner Geek Show with Winston A. Marshall at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then over the next month, you can find me on Let's Get Ready channel on their Twitch watch-alongs of Star Wars canon. So we're watching along through all of Star Wars canon, and I'll be watching along starting with, I believe, Solo. And then I'll be doing Rebels, Rogue One, and then jump into The Mandalorian because I don't want to.
Oh, y'all are watching the shows too. Okay, awesome.
It's
That's dope.
all canon media. All canon
Dope.
media. Shows, TV,
Yeah.
or TV, animated, movies, everything.
Awesome.
What about
and
Book
it's,
Nook?
and it's in timeline order, so like Clone Wars is jumping around. Because
Dope.
for those of you who don't know, Clone Wars is a little out of order.
Oh yeah.
And then also patreon.com/BurkeMade, where you can get some exclusive content as well as get the ability to play games with me on Twitch when I do my community game nights on Saturdays. And whether we are on stream or not, please streamelements.com/Burkmade/tip. It literally is how we keep the lights on, is how we pay them bills, because our other jobs don't pay us enough. So please help us out, support, and we'll see you next time. Just put a little dessert in your mouth.